The quiet catastrophe that is the revaluation of business rates is finally dawning on those in charge. Ministers are being, what's the diplomatic phrase, torn a new one by backbench Labour MPs who have, it seems, just also woken up to what the budget they happily cheered through will actually do to actual businesses, particularly smaller or independent businesses up and down the country. There could not be a confluence of policies imaginable that could drive various businesses into the ground better than the ones that this government has introduced. Higher costs to employ people, higher costs to pay those people, higher costs if you have the temerity to open your doors. This, folks, from the party who promised you that they were friends of business. Imagine what would be happening if they didn't like you. Today, publicans and industry bodies are planning something close to a national walkout. Pubs across the land are shutting their doors to Labour MPs, but I know this isn't just pubs. Since we have started talking about this in the immediate aftermath of the Chancellor's budget back in November, I have been absolutely inundated with messages from people who run coffee shops, or they run chippies, or they run gyms, who say that they are being priced out of running that business any longer. So if you are affected by these rate changes, I'd like to hear from you. What do you need government to do? They are listening. They are now just about aware of the damage that this would do. And reports in the papers today suggest that many Labour MPs, at least a couple of dozen are reported, to be so angered about this and worried about this that they're not going to vote through the finance bill, that is, the budget, as and when it is presented to MPs in the near future. The government cannot just U-turn on this, because rates do need to be revalued. But are there other taxes that could be disapplied to you? I know that the hospitality industry is crying out for VAT to be reduced, as it is in other countries across Europe. We pay the highest VAT on hospitality anywhere in Europe. Why? So that might be a start. 0345 6060 973 is the number. If your business is affected by this, and yes, we've talked a lot about pubs, and we'll talk about it more in a moment, but as I say, my Instagram inbox has filled up with people who run cafes, with people who run chippies, a lot of people who run gyms, or at least are trying to run businesses out of gyms, who are being wiped out, not because people aren't choosing to procure their services, but because they just can't afford to keep going. And that really isn't right. If a business can't survive because people aren't going to choose to pay for it, then get a better business. If you can't survive because you are taxed to high heaven by a government that says it shows interest in you and understands that you are the backbone of the economy, that you are the people that get out of bed every morning to keep this country going, but who do absolutely the opposite, then that really isn't fair. Chris is in Worthing first. Back to the business rates debacle. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Tom. It's not just the private sector that pays business rates. It's also public sector bodies. Your local authority will pay business rates on every car parking space it has, either on the road or in a car park. And the Treasury itself will pay business rates to City of Westminster, just the same as Global pays for your headquarters in Leicester Square. Mm-hmm. That money is then passed by Westminster to the local government department, who will then allow them so much money back and keep the rest. So you've got a problem, is that this isn't just going to raise the cost. All your business is going to, and it doesn't matter whether your car park charges 10p an hour or £10 an hour. Mm-hmm. They still have to pay the same amount of, they're assessed to the same amount of business rates for that space. So the cost, and it may be that some authorities will decide they've got to close certain services. One of the main pushes behind closing public conveniences is the level of business rates that they have to pay. My view would be that you should abolish business rates altogether. Increase the rate of VAT so that the Treasury recovers the same amount of money and can pay local government the same amount of money that they've been paying them for business rates. And that would reduce the cost on a small business with small turnover, like your corner shop or your pub, and it would put it onto Amazon and all the other large internet providers of services.
Chris, You have presented that, sir, magnificently.
I was a former local authority accountant.
Do you know what, sir? There was something in your voice that lent me that thought made me think that it was plausible. Why aren't you in charge? Why are the people in charge not able to do this?
They don't want to do it because business rates has a certainty. You know exactly how much you're going to get. You have a total of all the value.
Not if the business isn't there.
The rateable value. Yes, there is that. If the businesses go out of business, then yes, but there is a much higher rate of certainty. But the advantage to a business by abolishing business rates and going over to VAT is that business rates have to be paid up at the start. So you're due to pay it from the 1st of April, albeit you may pay in 10 instalments or whatever. VAT is paid in arrears.
Yes.
So there will be a cash flow implication to the government, but it will be to a benefit of your businesses because they'll only pay it on the basis of what they sell.
And this is the difference between bean counting and getting an economy moving. And at the moment, the bean counters are winning. In fact, some people would be very unkind to suggest that Rachel Reeves was a bean counter anyway, but I would suggest that the bean counters are in charge of Rachel Reeves. The Treasury orthodoxy is winning out via the Chancellor, who seems absolutely incapable of pushing back on what the Treasury see as a good outcome on the bottom of a spreadsheet, but is leaving actual real people with real lives and real businesses tearing their hair out because they're going to have to close their doors more often. Chris, really great call. Thank you very much indeed.